They came from near and far to see. In 1973, the first Bahamian to take the stand as Governor General of our land. Same year without a fight, the English Queen made him a knight. We saw him for the last time in 1979. But he was a freedom fighter. Oh, he was kind of big in structure. The first Bahamian governor, his name was Milo Butler. Play. Take a stroll at Dawson Square. You will find his statue there. His picture is also plain to see on our Bahamian currency. Let's teach our kids that they would know of our national heroes. And then ring ting ting, now let us sing. Let's celebrate our Bahamian thing. 'Cause he was a freedom fighter. Oh, he was kind of big in structure. The first Bahamian governor, his name was Milo Butler.
New year, new time. Watch Conversations with Christ every Sunday at 10 a.m. And I'll tell you why. Because I recently had someone ask me, they said, Daniel, how do I explain unemployment to my kids? How do I explain that I'm not working and we on welfare, we on government assistance? How do I explain that to my children? And the only thing I could tell them is one word, and that's temporary. Everything is temporary. Because see, when you walk by faith and not by sight, what you understand is that even though you don't see things changing, you don't have to see it, you just know that it's happening. And then he said, but it's been over 2 years. I haven't worked. So how do you explain temporary? And that's when I had to let him know that, hey, to God, one day is like 1,000 years. And 1,000 years is like one day. So don't compare today to forever. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So 10 a.m. Conversations with Christ every Sunday.
What you see on this television station is governed by IRCA's Code of Practice for Content Regulation. The Code of Practice covers matters relating to program content that are of concern to the community, such as local content, news, current affairs, and programs for children, advertising, including political advertisements, and the responsibilities associated with broadcasting in the Bahamas. The code also covers aspects such as access services for the hearing and visually impaired, and the procedure for lodging a complaint about anything broadcasted by this television station. The code is available on IRCA's website at www.ircabahamas.bs. To receive a copy of the code by mail or in person, you may telephone IRCA at 242-393-0234. Family Island dialing is toll-free at 242-300-8722. Or you may send a request by email to info@ircabahamas.bs.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the news, local government elections are 1 week away. Here's what you should know. Also, an organization geared towards assisting families of murdered victims now on Grand Bahama. And Abaco preparing for the reopening of school. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Roll-Parkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, local government elections are just a few days away. There are 4 local government districts on Grand Bahama: Freeport, West Grand Bahama, East Grand Bahama, and Sweetings Key. Tonight, the Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner here in Grand Bahama is addressing some of the concerns heading into the voting process. Jamila Mizik has our top story.
Assistant Parliamentary Commissioner Denise Pinder seeking to clarify things ahead of the local government elections set for Thursday, January 27th.
The same voters card that they used for the general elections last year, the purple voters card, that is the same card that they'll use for local government elections. With respect to where they're going to vote, even though the elections are by districts, the polling places have not changed. So it'll be the same polling places that you went for general elections. That's where you'll go to vote for next Thursday.
Now, she says there are some areas where there will not be elections.
In the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency, if you live in polling divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 14, there will be no elections. But all the remaining polls, there will be elections in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. In Central Grand Bahama, the polling divisions where there will not be any elections would be Central Grand Bahama Polling Division 2. And then for Central Grand Bahama Polling Division 7, it was split into an A portion, which is the city area, and the B portion, which will be the settlement area. So persons whose voters card say 7, Central Grand Bahama 7, if you live in Williamstown or Russelltown, there are no elections.
And if you live in Central Grand Bahama Polling Division 10, she says,
that was split into 2 different voting blocks. If your voter's card says Bartlett Hill, there are no elections. But if your voter's card says 10 and you live in Hepburn Town, there is an election for voters whose address says Hepburn Town. In the East Grand Bahama constituency, polling divisions 2, for those residents who live from between High Rock and Gold Rock Creek, your card says polling division 2, there are no elections in that area. And if you live in Waterkey, you would be in East Grand Bahama polling division 5, there are no elections. All the other polling divisions for East Grand Bahama would have elections. All for Central will have elections. All for Marco City that I didn't call, all for Marco City will be involved in the election, and all for Pine Ridge will be held in the election.
Now you can watch the ZNS community page to see all of the voting locations or pick up a handout for any of the constituencies from the Parliamentary Registration Department in the NIB building or the Administrator's office. Pinder noting that voters are entitled to 2 hours to vote in addition to their lunch hour. However, she says,
if your workday starts at 10 a.m., it means that you would have had between 8 to 10 to vote, so you're not entitled to the 2 hours off. If your workday stops at 4 p.m., then you're not entitled to the 2 hours off because you have between 4 to 6 to go and vote.
She adds that on Election Day, the sale of alcohol will be prohibited between the hours of 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Shamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, in the city of Freeport, a total of 24 candidates have filed nomination papers to fill the 9 seats on the council. Jamila Mizik gives us a rundown on who is running where in the city of Freeport.
9 councilors are needed to serve on the Freeport City Council. There are 5 candidates vying for the 2 seats in the Central Grand Bahama constituency. They are Marco Carey, Frazette Gibson, Solomon Morley, Derek Sands, and Michelle De Saunders. In East Grand Bahama, 6 candidates are battling for the 2 seats on the Freeport City Council. In that constituency, they are Rashard Adderley, Sandy Beverly Boleg, Arnett Coakley, Jordan Alexander Curry, Oswald Terrence Ellis, and Dr. Charlene Reed. 4 candidates will be on the ballot for Pine Ridge constituency. The top 2 finishers will go to the council. The candidates are Ernie Barr, Clifton Francis, Rayvano Ferguson, and Edwin Strawn. Marco City is the largest constituency and it has the largest number of candidates, 9 persons in total. They are going after the 3 seats on the council. They are Suzette Baston, Shavita Campbell, Kendall Culmer, Kevin Ferguson, Bernard Grant, Eris Hutchison, Omise Lockhart, Joanne Reckley, and Prescott Knowles. Elections will be held between the hours of 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. on Thursday, January 27th. Chumila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Well, the island of Abaco has 3 local government districts, north, south, and central, and plans are said to be well on the way for the January 27th elections. In the southern district, there are 4 town areas. There will be no election in the Cherokee Sound Township, and that includes Casuarina Point and Bahama Palm Shores, as only the required 4 candidates nominated. Elections will be held in Moores Island, where 5 persons are needed, but 7 candidates nominated. Now, in Sandy Point Town, 5 persons are needed and 7 nominated, and in Crossing Rocks, 9 nominated, but only 5 persons are needed for the town committee. Voting will be held at the school in each respective community. And with 13 public schools in Abaco, like the rest of the Bahamas, hundreds of students have been out of the classrooms for 2 years due to the global pandemic. But District Superintendent for Abaco and the Keys, Dominic Russell, says students and teachers are excited to head back to the classrooms, even if it is in a hybrid model.
Pastor J. Bethel and Sherlyn C. Boodle will open first in the virtual environment. Sherlyn C. Boodle is still under repair. And Pastor J. Bethel, we are experiencing some staff shortage there. The ministry has endeavored to hire some teachers, but that process is still ongoing. And so that particular school, that's the high school, that will open in the virtual environment. But our smaller schools, though they will start in the hybrid mode, if they have the right conditions, we have been given permission to have them go full face-to-face. But of course, we're going to start in the hybrid mode because of the protocols that have been established.
Now, she says there are 2 challenges that have been a problem in the past. That's internet connectivity and the frequent power outages.
We got assistance from Rotary last year. I think they were able to raise $102,000 worth of data plans for our teachers and our children. We don't have access to that this year. Now, we do have schools that have fiber cable optics, or whatever you call it, from BTC and from, I think there's another company, Walker's Industries, have outfitted some of our schools. We still have a few schools that need to be outfitted, but yes, connectivity is a serious issue. We've also had issues with electricity. You know, it goes off often, especially in the central area, and that's where our biggest challenge is in terms of our children. And so we are really grateful to be able to utilize the hybrid mode, even though Patrick J. Bethel will not be able to at the onset. But Central Abaco Primary, which also has over 500 children, will be allowed to have their children come to the school campus, and we're really excited about that.
Awesome. Now, she says for those students who will be in the hybrid model, they can be assured that all safety protocols will be adhered to. Switching gears now, free COVID testing is set to begin at the Foster B. Pastina Center at Christ the King this Saturday, with the capacity to test some 200 people a day. Minister for Grand Bahama, the Honorable Ginger Moxie, says that they are pleased to assist and partner with the Ministry of Health and Wellness to facilitate the rollout of the free COVID-19 testing program on Grand Bahama, and is encouraging residents to protect themselves by taking advantage of this opportunity. Minister Moxie also thanked the labs that have partnered with the government on this initiative. The COVID-19 free testing pilot program was rolled out in New Providence on January 8, 2022, following the success in Eleuthera, Inagua, Bimini, and the Berry Islands. Plans are underway to expand free testing to 8 Mile Rock next. Free testing is part of a larger government effort to reduce the impact of the new ultra-transmissible COVID-19 variants. Now, additionally, the government remains committed to combating the virus by expanding its vaccine and booster efforts, handing out medical-grade masks, setting stricter limits on the size of social gatherings, public education campaigns, and expanding healthcare capacity. Persons interested in the free COVID testing can register online at https://covidtest.gov.bs. In news from the crime beat, police are reporting that 30-year-old Lyndon McPhee of Tamarind Street surrendered to authorities yesterday. A bulletin was issued earlier this week for McPhee, who was wanted for questioning on the charge of assault with a deadly weapon. Police have confirmed that Lyndon McPhee has been released from custody. In other news, the National Lead Institute continuing to push the message of saving our communities. Tonight, Lead's president and CEO says that they are looking to partner with local organizations as well as the Royal Bahamas Police Force in order to help deter the youth from committing violent crimes. Here's Jamila Mizik with this report.
President and CEO of the National Lead Institute, Troy Clark, says they are doing their part to reach communities throughout Grand Bahama. And with the recent spike in gun violence on the island, they are hoping to assist in de-escalating this type of behavior.
We have decided to partner with the police so that when there's an occurrence of a shooting or a serious crime where victims are involved, we would like to be one of the first responders in what we call psychological first aid, offering grief assessment, grief counseling to the victims' families so that we can start bringing healing back to our communities because, we don't want to lose that community approach that we once had in our communities throughout Grand Bahama.
Clark says they are also partnering with those in the educational system to assist students who may have behavioral challenges.
We just sought to reach out to the Grand Bahama schools so that we can work closely with the guidance department and the administration in offering what we call preventative intervention care to those who might have what we call mild to severe behavioral challenges. Because if we don't stop this, then what happens is that you will notice that individuals will not complete their education successfully, and our young people are the future.
The National Lead Institute, he notes, is introducing certification training to equip professionals from various organizations within the community that work with youth to facilitate behavioral reform.
This intervention strategy will lead to enhanced moral reasoning, better decision making, and more appropriate pro-social behaviors. And it is MRT for us was initially developed as the cognitive behavioral component in a prison-based therapeutic community and has achieved widely implemented and remarkable success with juvenile offenders and the inmate population. So we just sought to use that in our communities to address those decision-making that our young people might have so that we do not see a further occurrences of violence throughout our communities of Grand Bahama.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Jamila. Well, the organization FOAM, Families of All Murdered Victims, establishing a base here on Grand Bahama. Leader Candy Gibson says they want to reach out to families who have been touched by violence. After losing two brothers 8 months apart, Candy Gibson says she felt firsthand the pain associated with losing a loved one to senseless violence.
Andrew died now 11, and I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't stand here and pretend when your loved one is violently taken away, you are concerned with, you're trying to bargain with God. God, why you didn't take me? Then you start to blame yourself if I was there. And then you start to want revenge. And I'm not going to tell you a word like when my first brother got killed, I had blood in my eyes. You know what's even more sad strangers are not killing our loved ones. It's their friends, persons who would call your mom, who would call you big sis, who would be in your house. They're wearing your loved one shirt. They're changing their Jordans, their Clarks with them. They are the ones doing the killing. And so when my first brother had gotten killed, we know who had killed him, and so I want a revenge. But I will tell anyone today, thank God for prayers.
But she says it was prayers instead that helped her to develop a passion to assist others who went through the same experience. Since establishing FOAM in Nassau, which is called the Family of All Murdered Victims, she has made significant strides.
I am a justice of the peace. God is good. I went back to school. I'm now in UB. And we have opened a female shelter. We have opened a full community center. We have pro bono attorneys on board that represent persons that they have little minor cases. Like during last year, we had the coconut water boys, and they were being hauled before the court for selling coconut water without their business license. And so we had attorneys on board who would go to court and represent them. We had solicit funds on Facebook for persons to be able to pay their fines and so forth. Last year, during the COVID, we were able to pay persons rent.
With 12 murders on Grand Bahama late last year, Gibson says she was compelled to establish a branch on Grand Bahama, where she was already assisting some persons indirectly through Nassau. She is also getting the assistance of a woman whose loved ones have also been murdered, and she isn't afraid to admit that she has been on the wrong side of the law, but has now realized her purpose.
I was always behind the scene, but I've decided that between my father business, Fox Fisheries, and FOAM is where I'm gonna base my life on now. I'm not gonna be into whatever else going on around in the world. I've had my fair share of what I went through in my life. I had a baby daddy got murdered under my window. I had a baby daddy what got killed on a motorbike accident, so I'm not no stranger to death. I'm still a victim. I still have kids that was fatherless. So I took FOAM on 100%, 1,000%.
Wendy Fox says that it is no secret that she has been a problem to the system. But after her last incident with the police over a year ago, she has decided to partner with FOAM in a public way. And she pledges that regardless of who needs help on this island, they are there to assist.
Plenty people. I mean, I have plenty, because at the end of the day, I still have people that believed in me. I still have people that saw the change in me. So I had plenty people reach out to me and say they are very proud of me. When it comes to FOAM and my responsibility, my job, I have to deal with whomever. I don't care what side they're on, the blue, the black, the red. Wendy Fox in Freeport is going to deal with whatever comes to our door.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Come on down. Now. Come on down. Now.
Hello, I'm Constable 3399 Alexander Williams of the Royal Palm Police Force Traffic Division, Grand Bahama. Did you know in October 2019, amendments were made to the Road Traffic Act? These amendments included such offenses as driving without having in your possession your insurance certificate, which carries a fine of $200, driving while not having in your possession your driver's license, which carries a fine of $40, driving while using an electronic communication device, which carries a fine of $500, driving while having an open alcoholic beverage, which also carries a fine of $500. Road safety is all of our responsibility. Join us as we work together to create safer communities.
That's what I told her. Bring the winding thing here. This is Rick and Script, so show me emotion. Hey, wind and go down low.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. You can now shape your crepe. It is a new and unique business that was recently opened in the downtown area. As Jay Philippe tells us, it is bringing employment opportunities to the area while providing a different flavor.
Shape Your Crepe is a new business offering a variety of breakfast and lunch options on the island. With the island of Grand Bahama now on the rebound, this new restaurant is part of the revitalization of the downtown area, says barista and cashier Alicia Hall.
So far, the support from Grand Bahama has been tremendous. We've had a lot of persons coming out, a lot of kids. We opened last week Friday on the 14th of January, so tomorrow will make us a week being open. And the idea behind the business is to bring something new to Grand Bahama. Crepes are French dishes. They're similar to pancakes but a bit flatter. So the idea is to keep Grand Bahama surprised and on their feet with new ideas.
The restaurant is located at the Ruby Plaza, which is the new building next to Bethel's bookstore. Hall says their unique menu will not only draw customers, but will keep them coming back.
We offer breakfast crepe, lunch crepes, sweet crepes. So for breakfast, we start breakfast at 8 a.m. when we open, and we do it all day. So we have a spinach and cheese, egg and cheese, a veggie grill, a smoked salmon, and a cheesy cheese. For lunch, we have savory crepes that we start at 12 p.m. until closing. So we have conch, lobsters, chicken, and steak, which is our most requested one. And the pizza that a lot of persons like as well.
There are options for the health conscious as well.
We have salads. We have a chicken salad, a Caesar salad, and a Southwest salad. And also with the crepes, we offer tofu, salmon, and veggie.
Now, the crepes are made with the islands of the Bahamas in mind.
All of our crepes are named after the islands of the Bahamas. So, for example, we offer a rum key walnut and raisin, an Andres guava cream, a Long Island banana and Nutella, and an Exuma strawberry and Nutella.
Hall adds that the location of the new business is convenient to customers because of its proximity.
A lot of persons from nearby shops come in, persons passing on their way, going town or leaving out of town, they stop in and purchase food.
Shape Your Crepe is open 7 days a week with a full staff of employees serving breakfast and lunch for adults and children. I'm Jay Philippe, ZNS Network News.
Jay Philippe has a check on sports up next.
Good evening, I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports on a Friday. Well, the NFL playoffs will resume this weekend, but we also have an update on the island of Bimini as it relates to sports and its return. The Bimini Sports Council is preparing for the return of sports. President of the council, Dexter Roll, says the upkeep of the park has been a priority.
Our main objective right now is to get this park closed and to get it fenced in so we can get it managed and we can, have proper security within the park, because as long as the kids come in here and it's open, there's a lot of things that can be done that is negative. So we're trying to get it closed in, fenced in, get it managed, and get security in here.
Rose says young athletes have been utilizing the park just about every day, but says that more work needs to be done to maintain the park.
We're just waiting for the guys. The guys are doing the tennis court down in Cat Key right now, and from there they're going to come up here and they're going to pave our tennis court and finish off the tennis court first. The baseball park is almost just about ready to go. We just got to keep it managed as far as keeping the grass cuts and the dugouts are up and all that, to get the wall or the fencing around it. And we're looking into all of that right now with some assistance. We are moving right along with the basketball. The basketball is nothing hard to do. It's just a matter of getting organized. But we're working along with the schools from at least from the perspective of seeing what the school's doing with the kids, because we have to work with the young people.
As for sports in Bimini, the Gourmet Splash Women's Basketball Tournament was the first time of competitive sports coming back to the island, but not all sports are played indoors. For outdoor sports, lighting is a major concern, and hopefully an upgrade is in the works.
We got some lighting out here. We talked with the ministry, and they were saying that they have some different plans for public parks as far as lighting. The solar system they want to put in place in all the parks. So we're going to give them a chance to see what they're dealing with, and then we'll go from there.
Switching gears now, the NFL wildcard round is over, and now just 8 teams are left in the hunt for the Super Bowl title. In the AFC, Ryan Tannehill and the Tennessee Titans will host the Cincinnati Bengals. Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs will match up against the Buffalo Bills, who's coming off an impressive win against the New England Patriots. Now in the NFC, the top-seeded Green Bay Packers, with MVP candidate Aaron Rodgers, will face the stifling defense of the San Francisco 49ers. And perhaps the game of the weekend, the defending champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will host the Los Angeles Rams at home. And that's all I have for you on this beautiful Friday evening. I'm Jay Philippe. Be blessed and be safe.
Alive brings to you the iPhone 12 64 gigs for $249 when you switch to Alive postpaid. Alive, believe in best.
Someone take my bike. Call the police. Someone took my bike. Someone took my bike with my point. I leave the car for 1 quick second and someone take my bike.
Crime prevention should be everyone's business. Therefore, we want to remind you not to leave your bags or valuables visibly seen on the seat of your vehicle unattended. This negligent practice will create an opportunity for a criminal to commit a crime. Please desist from such practices.
This message is brought to you by the Royal Bahamas Police Force, creating safer communities.
The King of the North is back. Power 104.5 FM.
Your #1 news team covering the North. The Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Shamaine Hart, you are our Facebook friend of the day. We thank you for your support. And that is going to do it for us here in the North. On behalf of our entire ZNS News team, I'm Shoshina Wolf-Farquharson. The Bahamas Tonight continues, and enjoy your weekend.
Watch Junkanoo in a whole new way. See the magnificence of Junkanoo through the eyes of those who know it best. The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture presents Junkanoo Watch Party, a night of Junkanoo excellence with commentary from the Junkanoo experts, plus your thoughts on social media. Junkanoo Watch Party, this Saturday, January 22nd on the ZNS Network at 7:30 p.m.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
Coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, details of a reimagined public service. A major boost to the local tourism product. 200 plus COVID cases coupled with increased hospitalizations. And a Bahamian seals a pro baseball contract. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
This portion of
Good evening, everyone. I'm Akush Lapinder. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. Thanks for tuning in. The Public Service is undergoing a promotions audit that State Minister Pia Glover-Rowell says will reward hundreds of civil servants after years of delays. Minister Glover-Rowell revealed the details today after talks with heads of ministries and departments on the way forward. Keishla Adderley reports.
Minister for the Public Service, the Honorable Pia Glover-Rowell, is taking a fresh look at the service. But as officials look to establish a more efficient, customer-friendly platform, they're also looking to balance the scales, beginning with a promotions audit.
We are about 3 exercises behind in terms of promotional exercises and assessments. So that's their first order of business. Then we are going to look at identifying service-wide those persons that are due for promotion, and understanding how we can move forward in, giving them the reward and recognition through promotion that they deserve and that they work for. We'll be looking at a number of agencies simultaneously. We're looking at Customs now. We began by looking at Immigration, Department of Corrections, Police and Defense Force. We always look at the uniformed services first, and now we're moving into the other ministries and departments in the service. We will look at service-wide promotional exercises, supersessions.
Minister Glover-Rowell held closed meetings with public service heads this morning at the Paul Farquharson Center as they began plans to best utilize staff and execute the vision of each department with the right mix of human resources needs. That, she says, has for a while been supplemented by contractual workers, and that will continue.
There is currently a freeze on hiring. The main pathway for entrance into the public service has been, as of late, the 52-week program, which we're remodeling, redeveloping that program, and using that in collaboration with external programs like the University of the Bahamas, like BTVI, to engage workers into the service. That program, if approved by Cabinet, is set to be reintroduced as usual in the summer of this year.
Meantime, outstanding money is also about to be paid to hundreds of civil servants.
As you know, increments will be paid as of this month. And as we review when we go into our new budget, we will be looking at ameliorating further. But the increments will be paid as of this month for those persons that qualify for those increments in 2021.
Minister Glover-Rowell also declaring that the government is looking to end a system that's resulted in millions of dollars in losses.
We have had the opportunity to begin the audit of our accommodations, and we are well on the way of disengaging millions of dollars in leases that would have been engaged, and the buildings are unoccupied.
Now, an audit is underway, but all in all, it's estimated that $9 to $12 million was being paid on those unoccupied buildings. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
2 days to go before the school year resumes under a hybrid system. Education officials taking the lead from their colleagues over at the Ministry of Health and Wellness in a push to ensure students stay atop their academics. Aldovis Munnings has the story.
The delay in resuming the current school year, all thanks to COVID-19, has been a primary concern for education officials. In fact, Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, the Honorable Philip Davis, and Education Minister, the Honorable Glenys Hannah Martin, recently both underscored the pitch to get students back in the classroom, as well as to resolve the high levels of absenteeism due to implementing a virtual platform. Well, the Education Ministry ensured in its announcement of school reopening on Monday, January 27th, with a hybrid model that all health and safety protocols must be adhered to. Director of Education Marcellus Taylor explains the importance of face-to-face instruction some 2 years into the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, actually, it's not a new school year. It's just a resumption of on-campus learning because students were in since August in the virtual modality. But we are happy that we're to the point now where our students can't come on campus because, as we have said over and again, the on-campus experience and the full face-to-face model in particular is the one that we desire, the one that we know best, and the one that we feel is most impactful for our students.
And then there's school repairs. A number of schools still need some work even before students can enter the classrooms on Monday.
In some instances, we've had to make some repairs, and some were quite extensive. And so we are excited that most, if not all, of those repairs are concluded. and that students will not only be able to come back to the school campus, but in some instances, they'll be in a fully refurbished school. And we have a number of them that have been extensively renovated or refurbished. So we have the Sybil Strong School on Carmichael Road. We have the S.C. McPherson School, where a lot of work was done. L.W. Young as well, and a number of others. And so we are quite happy about that.
Education officials strongly encourage parents to ensure their children adhere to all COVID-19 protocols and that they fully engage in all aspects of their learning on and off campus. Altaviz Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Davis emphasizing that at no time did he breach quarantine. Responding to a headline in today's local daily, a statement from the office of the Prime Minister clarified that as Christmas approached, the Prime Minister was informed that he had been exposed to persons who had tested positive for COVID. The statement went on to say that between December 22nd and the 24th, he took 3 COVID tests, 2 RT-PCR and 1 antigen, all of which were negative. Because the Prime Minister has had 2 vaccine shots and a booster, in addition to a prior infection, and because he had multiple negative test results, he was informed he posed little transmission risk. The statement made it clear that at no time did the Prime Minister breach the regulations in the Health Service's COVID-19 Prevention and Management of Community Spread Rules 2021. The Office of the Prime Minister's statement concluded that the Prime Minister was not ordered into quarantine by a medical officer. Well, Prime Minister, the Honourable Philip Davis is Jones Communications Man of the Year. The special ceremony held yesterday hailed the Prime Minister as a patriot with a heart for the people. Here's Keishla Adderley.
Prime Minister the Honourable Philip Brave Davis has begun his year on a high note with a special honour from his peers. On Thursday, the Jones Communications Network honored him as the Man of the Year, citing his storied political career, culminating with his election win of 2021. JCN CEO Wendell Jones called the Prime Minister a man of heart.
We have come to salute and recognize a man whose greatest strength is his heart. A heart for the people, a person of benignity, stout-hearted. And there are too many people in the political arena who do not have the heart of our honoree.
Prime Minister Davis's deputy, the Honourable Chester Cooper, shared similar sentiments, attributing his own plunge as a novice politician into the big leagues due to Prime Minister Davis's mentorship.
When I expressed my desire to run for deputy leader of the party, he was encouraging. He held my hands. When he wanted to approach the situation with caution, he let it be known. He was the one who advised patience when good men had their reputations tarnished, and he collaborated with us all as we carefully crafted our re-election strategy. When he was sworn in as Prime Minister, it was a moment of profound clarity for me to understand that steadfastness and faith can see goals achieved.
The man of the hour was emotional as he referred to the family members who continue to ground him and to the Cat Island roots that still hold his heart.
We sat and wished fervently, hopefully, that on mail day, when the mailboat came, there was a box, what we used to call relish, from Nassau, that mommy or daddy or one of the siblings would send for Mama Blanche and Bio, my grandfather. To be recognized as a mover and shaker in this nation means very much to me. But make no mistake, my stride by no means come to an end here. My stride as a brave and humble leader of the people will carry on.
The fifth Prime Minister of the Bahamas, Mr. Davis, endorsed the acknowledgement of Bahamians who have contributed to national development, as the Jones Communications has done since the turn of the century. Keishla Adderley, ZNS Network News.
In other news this evening, 222 people tested positive for COVID-19 based on the numbers reflected on Thursday's dashboard. New Providence accounting for 192 of those cases, Eleuthera 15, Grand Bahama 8, Abaco 4, and Exuma 3. Of the newly confirmed cases, 86 New Providence residents, 11 Eleutherans, and 1 Exumian traveled within the past 14 days. Hospitalizations are up to 158, 8 of the sick on the intensive care unit. On a more positive note, though, 81 people recovered from COVID on Thursday. This while 847 RT-PCR tests were completed, 67 of them repeats, 5 returning inconclusive results. Well, in the meantime, the government's still working to secure field hospitals to assist with managing triple-digit COVID-19 patients. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. The Honorable Michael Darville says they've reached out to several countries, and while there's been some traction, there are challenges.
Unfortunately for us in the Bahamas and this administration, we are a new administration, and these requests were made 2 weeks after becoming government. The Omicron variant came very rapidly, and a lot of the preliminary work and search for these field hospitals is still ongoing, and I've gotten some good replies. But for us, we must be able to function now, and when those facilities come on stream, we would actually add them to what we have.
Now, plans are still underway to use the University of the Bahamas' Governor's Close campus as an additional space for COVID-19 patients amid a steady increase in hospitalizations. In fact, Darville says construction has started. Still, he continues to push vaccination, stressing that remaining doses of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine that expired were discarded.
Vaccines that have been expired have no more value. It's unfortunate, but the Bahamian people appetite for Johnson & Johnson was not that we initially expected. And so life goes on. We have to continue the vaccination program, and we need to really encourage Bahamians everywhere to get vaccinated, those who have not. And then those who want their boosters, our sites are open.
Meantime, the Princess Margaret Hospital has adjusted its visitation protocols for critical and general patients. In the case of patients on the intensive care unit, neonatal intensive care unit, and pediatric, physicians will grant approval for visits on a case-by-case basis. Physicians with patients on general, medical, or surgical wards must give authorization during family consultation and updates. Once authorization is given for inpatient visitation, no more than 2 visitors are allowed, and one of them must be the patient's legal next of kin. Visitors to the ward are 1 at a time for a maximum period of 15 minutes, and they must check in at the front desk at the critical care block entrance and receive a visitor's pass. Furthermore, the hospital offers a daily drop-off service to receive necessary items for patients at the critical care block between the hours of noon to 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Monitor COVID, but by the same token, understand it won't be around forever. Bahamas Air Managing Director Tracy Cooper's philosophy for 2022 as the airline hopes to take off on a banner year following its summer to year's end success thanks to the lucrative home porting initiative in the capital.
Our marketing teams and our sales teams are starting to communicate with the local hotels, with the local travel agencies, so that we understand what the needs are, what the predictions are going to be, so that we could better position the airline to meet those needs. We're working in conjunction with the Family Island Promotion Board, with the Nassau Paradise Island Promotion Board, and on all of the stakeholders that will give us a better understanding of what we're doing for the airline.
Cooper says this year, Bahamas Air is also looking to restart the international cargo services coming out of the United States.
And we're looking if we could push this into cargo services for Haiti and cargo services for Cuba. We'll be doing that as well.
and we think that they'll provide another significant boost to the airline. So we are looking to look at other measures that are not so COVID heavy, that COVID would have such an effect on, just in case this COVID thing goes a little longer than we expect, to make sure that we are still providing expected revenues for the airline.
Still to come, taxi drivers vent on the impact of the Hilton Hotel's pending closure and inclement weather hamper local fishermen's catch. We'll be back right after this. And remember to tune in to the morning edition with LaDawn Davis and Charles Fisher at 7 o'clock weekday mornings. We also have news updates at every hour starting at 2 p.m. You can then watch the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, at 6:30 and the National Report live at 7 p.m. All right here on the ZNS Network.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sun Oil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome to a world where hope is still loud, where dreams are still relevant, and determination has no substitute. Welcome to a nation where the people are still warm, resilient, and innovative. And Commonwealth Bank is at the center of it all, giving innovation and progress an extra push for more than 60 years. We're here for Bahamians because we are Bahamian. Commonwealth Bank, your leader in personal banking services.
You know that feeling you get when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
Watch Junkanoo in a whole new way. See the magnificence of Junkanoo through the eyes of those who know it best. The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture presents Junkanoo Watch Party, a night of Junkanoo excellence with commentary from the Junkanoo experts, plus your thoughts on social media. Junkanoo Watch Party this Saturday, January 22nd on the ZNS Network at 7:30 p.m.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
The Bahamas and the United Arab Emirates signed off on another agreement, this one to explore joint initiatives to promote local tourism. Signing the Memorandum of Understanding for the Bahamas was Foreign Affairs and Public Service Minister, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, and for the Emirates, Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum. Noting his delight to work with the Bahamas, Sheikh Ahmed stressed the role the Emirates plays in boosting tourism to various destinations by providing travelers with reliable, convenient, and comfortable flight options for travel. Equally enthused by the opportunity to work with the Emirates to promote the Bahamas, Minister Mitchell touted the country as an unmatched destination, offering a wide variety of leisure experiences that can appeal to every visitor. Now, through the MOU, the Emirates will develop initiatives to promote the Bahamas as a tourism destination. This includes developing enhanced connectivity to the Lynden Pinling International Airport from American gateways. Additionally, through its tour operating arm, Emirates Holidays, the airline will also make available a range of travel packages, including hotels and flights to the Bahamas. Now, as it stands, Emirates customers can connect to LPIA on code-share flights with JetBlue from 4 major U.S. airports, and that's Boston, Newark, New York, and Orlando. They can also opt to fly through Toronto. Taxi drivers working along the Hilton Hotel in downtown Nassau are praying for an intervention to stop its pending closure. You see, some of the ground transportation professionals told our Carla Palmer today that it's certain their bottom line will be impacted, and they're already seeking out alternatives.
On any given day, no less than 14 taxi drivers are on call for service at the historic British Colonial Hilton Hotel downtown Nassau. And always in that queue are familiar faces: Harry Strawn, Eleanor Bain, and Drexel Gibson, each having worked the hotel strip in excess of 10 years. While these taxi ambassadors thought the COVID-19 pandemic was the worst of it in terms of a setback to their livelihood, they're in economic peril once again, now that hotel owners plan to close the property on February 15th.
Well, my reaction was, what's going to happen when it closes? My business will be dropped off quite a bit. Definitely it would. Because we depend on, you know what we depend on, tourists.
It will get harder because most of the fares that we pick up would come out of the hotel. So seeing that it will be closed, there's maybe people passing the street, and that's it. And that don't mean nothing much.
I expect that if it don't stay open, it will reopen again in the not too distant future.
Still, in the midst of uncertainty and seemingly anxiety amongst these taxi drivers, they remain hopeful and already thinking of other alternatives.
Well, it will impact me quite a bit because definitely I don't know how the new hotel around the corner going to be if they close this hotel. Then I'll have to maybe go around on the other side, okay?
Strawn is referring to the Point Hotel, the property just adjacent to the Hilton.
I am not too overly concerned about the closure because the location is right downtown. Normally we have people come from cruise ships coming along here. There's some smaller hotels around the area. You got McDonald's across the street, you got the Embassy across the street, you got the Point around the corner. So I plan to be in this area to see how things go. I believe we'll be okay. A lot of tourists still come along the strip. So eventually somebody can stop and say taxi. That's what I'm here for.
Still, these taxi drivers are prayerful for an intervention.
I hope that somebody come in and just take it over. As long as they keep it open, I think it will be much better for us.
I expect that it'll open again.
Okay.
But until then, I'm going to hang around.
I'm not going to let this stop me until.
Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the president of the Bahamas Christian Council is calling for consultation on the cannabis bill to ensure widespread feedback on a long, thorny issue. Here's Fern Carey with the story.
The government forging ahead with draft legislation for the legalization of cannabis in the country, with a proposed law expected to be completed by March of this year. If legalized, the cannabis industry is expected to create a new economic platform in the country, with the Family Islands being pegged to maximize and support the industry. However, the move to legalize cannabis is not sitting well with members of the Bahamas Christian Council, who say their stance on the controversial issue has not changed. Apostle Delton Fernandez is the council's president.
Because the position of the church was a strong no. So if this is what the government feels is going to change our economy, we want to say to them emphatically, they might want to reconsider.
His comments come amidst a changing worldview on marijuana, with some countries legalizing the plant's use for recreational and medicinal purposes. However, Bishop Fernandez says the Christian Council will do all in his power to oppose the move here at home.
This is like the third leadership we've been fighting this, and we've been consistent in our messaging, and it won't stop now.
Apostle Fernandez called on the government to consult with stakeholders on the proposed cannabis legislation before moving forward. Communications Director in the Office of the Prime Minister, Latrey Ramming, says plans are already underway for that to happen.
The government will meet with a number of stakeholders to determine consultation and feedback on the public policy, how it will impact on consumers, business. Of course, there are key voices in the community, including the church. The president of the Christian Council, Mr. Fernandez, knows well that irrespective of the issue or regardless of the issue, we always consult with him. And I think this has been the the common trend even during the pandemic. To suggest that this process is way in its final stage, it will be an incorrect assessment. I think what we are speaking to is the intent of the government insofar as public policy.
Raming, however, did not give a definitive timeline as to when that meeting will take place. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.
Justice Ian Winder has awarded cause to the defendants in the Golden Gates Assembly World Outreach Ministries Leadership Row case. The matter ended up in court last year after Archbishop Ross Davis announced that he had appointed his son, Reverend Trent Davis, as the senior pastor. However, that did not sit well with members of the pastoral board who protested the appointment. The decision was subsequently reversed through a resolution, and Pastor Alan Strawn was elected acting president of the church. As a result, Archbishop Davis and members of the executive committee took the matter to court. However, the protesting pastors, the defendants, filed a counterclaim asking the court to determine, among other things, whether a senior pastor could be thrust upon the organization or appointed through an election. After hearing submissions in the matter, Justice Ian Winder ruled that it is up to members of the church to choose the makeup of the church council, which would then be tasked with electing the executive committee that manages the church. On January 13th, Justice Winder handed down his ruling on court cost after hearing submissions on the matter. 5G, the latest mobile communication standard, providing high-speed internet access to consumers. But how will it affect us here in the Bahamas? Crystal Darling spoke with BTC's CEO on the issue.
Isn't a thing here just yet, but news of the network leading to recent flight delays for Bahamians following the 2020 Expo in Dubai have certainly prompted serious conversations at home.
There are certain frequency bands within the spectrum that is used for mobile technology that does use what's called a C-band frequency. That frequency actually is also used by the FAA for some instrumentation within aircraft, and that's where they have found that there's been some challenges with certain operators in international markets, not here in the Bahamas, but in international markets, where if there are towers that are in very close proximity to the airports, that they could have some interference.
Foster assures BTC's 5G plans does not include proximity of towers to airports. That said, it won't interfere with aircraft when it's eventually rolled out.
Because we still are in the infancy of even developing to deploy our plans or putting plans to deploy 5G, it's not a concern or risk for us or for visitors coming to the Bahamas. And then the second thing I would add to that is typically for us, as we roll out technologies for, especially around airports, we tend to deploy what's called an in-building system. So an in-building array actually minimizes the footprint of the signal propagation, so it would not affect aircraft that are coming in. You know, the misunderstanding has crept in because people associate 5G with lots and lots of infrastructure, and it's true, but that does not pose greater health issues because of the fact that, again, the footprint of that RF energy is much smaller.
He says extensive research and testing have gone into 5G technology internationally.
There is a lot of science and development around this from the perspective of health and safety, and that, in fact, you know, the amount of RF energy that they're exposed to is greater within their homes from electrical wiring, from microwaves, from even those new smart TVs, than they would from a mobile tower that is in their neighborhood.
In the end, Foster says they will make necessary adjustments if the technology is proven harmful to tools in aircraft.
We would avoid using those bands as a part of our deployment if it's proven to be that they are in fact causing any type of detriment to aviation equipment. But again, from our perspective today, the bands that we operate in are not in the same bands that we would deploy 5G in, so I don't see that being an issue for us at BTC.
Crystal Darling, ZNS Network News.
A corporate citizen is helping out the colored economies. The Bahamas Development Bank has a series of grants, and one of the recipients is the Orange or Creative Economy. That's the arts and heritage, cultural industries, digital media, and technology. A $70,000 technology micro grant program will equip videographers, musicians, photographers, and other artists with the technology needed to improve the quality of their productions. To this end, BDB will provide MacBook Pros to a limited number of professionals who clearly articulate the benefit the device will have on their craft and show a plan for expanding their market. BDB's financial controller, Ashley Outen, believes the bank's orange economy is ripe with opportunity, hence the added investment towards creatives. Interested candidates are invited to visit the bank's social media pages or website at www.bdb.gov.bs for more information on the application process and requirements. Applications for the grant will remain open until Monday, February 14th. Well, less than 30% of Bahamians contribute to pension plans, while less than 8% invest in marketing securities based on the central bank's 2018 financial literacy survey. Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Deputy Prime Minister the Honorable Chester Cooper, says his life's work has been to encourage saving and investment. But much of the country has still not developed a savings culture. It's an issue Cooper says he hopes to change while addressing a recent Arawak X event.
I continue to be concerned about this, and my ministry will undertake this year, along with stakeholders in the financial services and banking community, to lead a financial literacy national campaign to ultimately encourage saving and investing. It is essential to the building of our capital markets and the spurring of national growth. At the same time, it is the intention of our government's administration to also earnestly tackle the predicament of the unbanked, especially in our family islands. No doubt many entities in the fintech space will continue to leverage this as an opportunity as well.
Well, recent cool temperatures may have reduced the stress on ACs, but it caused some angst for local fishermen. Here's what they told our Charles Fisher.
No fish, no conch, no crawfish. That's all the boats there. And we got to get out in the water. The best products got to be, but
that's the cry of local fishermen. Bad weather has really hampered them from going out on the high seas. There are lots of boats docked in the harbor when they should be out. The sign says fresh fish, but there is a limited amount and choice right now. Alan Murray and the crew of Yoletta was getting their dinghies ready. They have not been out since before Christmas.
Weather was the reason up until this point. We had several cold fronts back to back. Sometimes you don't get out in January at all. So at least this year we have an opportunity to go out. It hasn't been terrible. It hasn't been unusual. So we're happy to get to go,
The Vad Kemper diver on another vessel is also eager to get out.
We've been here from the 12th of December, which will just be our first trip to go able to get out now. And then the cold front really affects us bad. We can't get out. Very cold. Like you said, the Arctic blast. The water is cold. Because we can't get out to get on steel. We'll have to come in. The weather's so bad, we can't wait.
So just how has this affected business?
When you can't work, of course it's a fact. But it's a twofold thing. The weather is beneficial to us because it would help the crawfish to move around. If you just have good weather all the time, then the crawfish pretty much stay where they are. But if you have bad weather, then it affects the crawfish, makes them move to different areas and so forth. So it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other,
And right as our interview was done, the more than 8-member crew was off for smooth sailing and good catch.
We expect to just be on a short one this time because we're hoping to get some fish. So fish doesn't take as much time as crawfish because you're able to catch a larger volume at one time. So maybe 2 weeks we'll be returning. And there's a high demand for fish at the moment, so it shouldn't be any problem selling it.
For the ZNS Network News, I'm Charles Fisher.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Tourism today. Bahamas tourism today.
Just when you thought dining experiences couldn't get any better at Bahamar, they prove you wrong. Bahamar Resort opens its newest restaurant, and this time it's kosher.
We are thrilled to be opening up Cinco, our Asian Latino restaurant here at Bahamar, latest addition to all of our culinary experiences. And this one is extremely special for us. It is our first and one of the very few in the world kosher restaurants here in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean.
The Bahamar is opening something truly unique and historic, not just in this hotel, but for the entire country. They're opening the first ever kosher restaurant. It's a big deal because you see the Bahamas attracts thousands of Jewish visitors that are looking for a kosher place to eat. And tonight, for the first time, that answer will be there. A kosher restaurant means that all the food inside fits the kosher standard, the kosher diet. It means it's pure, it means it's fit, it means that every ingredient that went inside was checked over to make sure it meets the highest standard of kosher. So it's really an exciting thing, and we know that this is going to bring a big new beginning, a new chapter to the Bahamas. So we're very thrilled, and we're honored to be a part of it. As the rabbi, I'm overseeing the kosher here in the Bahamar and in the Cinco restaurant, so we're very excited.
For information on how you can book to dine at this one-of-a-kind kosher restaurant, visit bahamar.com/culinary. I'm Alexis Clark, and this is Tourism Today.
Say goodbye to the clunky, old, outdated, tiresome way of buying insurance. Get covered in a click with First Online, a new online insurance portal from Bahamas First. It's the simple way to do insurance. Visit bahamasfirst.com to get an instant quote, pay premiums, and manage your claims anytime and from any device. First for our car and home insurance customers. It's another first from Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital Wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
You watch them grow and make plans for them even before they're old enough to talk. You spend a lifetime of sacrifice to pave the way for their success and create a tomorrow you too can be proud of. Can you tell who is the investor? At Leno, we believe everyone who has ever put a penny aside for a future dream is an investor. If you're new to investing, Leno's financial experts stand ready to design plans based on your goals. Let's sit down and explore the options one-on-one and see how, together, we can make your dreams come true. Whether considering traditional investments like a new home, car, your own business, security in retirement, or your child's college fund, we take the confusion out of the process and make an investor out of you. Call 396-3225 for an appointment. Leno, your bridge to the future.
Corporate Bahamas pitching in to support the Bahamas Girl Guides Association following a recent break-in at its Cowpen Road facility, coupled with a $700,000 shortfall toward completing its West Bay Street headquarters. Officials from CIBC First Caribbean and Rotary Bahamas this morning made a financial donation to the service club.
We are donating $5,000 today to help with the construction of their building. Last year, August, we planted 100 trees at the campsite. So we are just partnering with the Girl Guides because for us it's important that we contribute to the development of our girls in this country.
We've worked with the Girl Guides for a number of years now, and we've supplemented some of their programs. We've gone down there, we've painted and so forth. And so we felt some kind of way when we heard of the robbery. And so yesterday we were able to mobilize and collect $5,650 that we will be donating this morning.
The Girl Guide's $1.5 million headquarters comprises 3 floors and comes equipped with several meeting rooms, administrative offices, a training and tech center, and dormitory facilities for up to 18 girls. Girl Guide's Properties Chair Elma Garraway invites other private and corporate partners to consider assisting with its advancement.
We thank everybody, especially those who have contributed this morning, those who have contributed across this land with the vaccination card project, and then to all the corporate citizens who are going to continue to help us make this dream a reality.
Miss Bahamas World Sienna Evans, one of 40 semi-finalists who will return to Puerto Rico to compete in the 2021 Miss World finale. The 40 semi-finalists were chosen from 97 contestants around the world. The originally scheduled December 16th pageant was postponed following a COVID-19 outbreak and will be held at the Puerto Rico Coliseum. Miss Bahamas World officials say Sienna performed exceptionally well in the 4 weeks leading up to the original finale date and was widely considered a favorite for the crown prior to the postponement. A 43-year veteran of the Bahamas Department of Corrections Chief Officer William Saunders got a parade and musical send-off as he begins retirement. Saunders started his career as a prison officer in 1978 before being transferred to the tailor shop constructing uniforms for officers and inmates. He believes it's there he made his mark on the lives of inmates and staff. The retiree says he took pride in transferring knowledge to inmates who were inspired to become entrepreneurs.
During my tenure, it was a pleasure to work and to serve people because our mandate was to try to reform, reshape, and rehabilitate those who have strayed away from the law. And it was our job to put them back on track. But putting many of them back, we find that the recidivism rate was very high. And so we had to give them something to do that when they go there, not only we give them a fish, but we teach them how to fish. And I felt great doing that. I did that for almost 43 years.
After spending most of his life at the Bahamas Department of Corrections, Saunders is grateful to God for the opportunity. It's hard for him to leave, but he does so with no regrets.
I was basically 21 years of age. I walk into these doors, and now I'm leaving. It is difficult. You know, B-Docs, I made a lot of friends. You know, and a lot of my comrades, we work as a team, and I always tell people team work makes the dream work. And I hope that I leave that in their hearts so that they could work together to build not only B-Docs, but to build our country.
Well, as we head to the break, we'd like to thank all our viewers watching us live on our social media platforms. And just in case you missed the news, be sure to head there to catch up. Stay with us. There's more after the break.
When you want to save money on your tile supplies, who you gonna call? The Tile King. When you tile your house and you want to look good, who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Visit the new Tile King showroom, which is internationally recognized as the finest tile showroom in the Caribbean, located in the Builders Mall on Wolf Road.
The Tile King. Who you gonna call? The Tile King.
Tiles on everything.
Fixed and mobile services provided by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions helps our customers help their customers adapt to the new way of paying for things. Digital wallets makes your transactions faster, more convenient, and secure. Whether it's using a debit card at the grocery store or making online payments for your monthly expenses, Digital Wallets powered by Cable Bahamas Business Solutions makes it better. For more information on our fixed and mobile services, contact the experts at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Throughout all of our family islands, a Family Guardian home service agent can meet all your insurance needs. We offer life, health, and property and casualty insurance policies to help protect you, your loved ones, and your assets. With offices in Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma, and Grand Bahama, and agents throughout the islands of the Bahamas, a Family Island agent is always nearby. Family Guardian, at your service, at your door. For any inquiries, WhatsApp us at 357-9632.
How the smartest shoppers are shopping in Nassau. Variety disposable products versus the other guys. $120.40 versus $150. Variety disposable products, 25% savings. Bingo, save $3. Padilla, save $2. Bounty hand towel, $1. And that's how the smartest shoppers saved over $30 on this cart at Variety Disposable.
Abaco police arrest a Cooperstown, Abaco resident for possession of dangerous drugs. It was shortly before 1 o'clock yesterday afternoon when Cooperstown police were on routine patrol and spotted the male driver of a blue Honda Fit acting suspiciously. Officers asked the driver to stop. That's when they smelled the strong scent of marijuana emanating from the car. Now, a search of the driver revealed a quantity of suspected marijuana in a plastic wrap in his groin area. Another search of the suspect's front right pants pocket was where officers found an additional plastic wrapping of the suspected drugs. An investigation is underway. 2 Bahamian beaches make the Caribbean Journal's list of top 15 Caribbean hideaway beaches to discover in 2022. Topping the list, Shark Creek Beach in Great Harbor Key, the Berry Islands. The online site describes Great Harbor Key as an in-the-know destination for travelers, mostly those with boats in the Miami area. The article entices readers to experience Shark Creek's jaw-dropping white sand with shallow water that extends about half a mile, noting that seeing one other person on this beach constitutes a crowd. Number 3 on the list is Old Bite Beach in Cat Island. While the regional site recognizes every beach on Cat Island would make this list, they say Old Bite Beach is the island's crown jewel. A seemingly endless crescent of picture-perfect white sand and a near guarantee that you'll be by yourself any day of the week. Well, it's time now for a check on Family Island weather with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good evening, Basil.
Good evening, Makushla. Outside of our studios, we're under near clear skies with a temperature of 73 degrees, a relative humidity at 94%. We have southerly winds at 8 miles per hour. The barometric pressure, 1,014.7 millibars. That's 30.04 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, they are brought to you by Family Guardian Insurance Company. We're protecting you. 75 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green Tour Key, and Marsh Harbor. Abaco in the Berry Islands, 77. Alistown, Bimini at 78 degrees, 78 in Harbor Island and Rockstown, Eleuthera. Also Fresh Creek, Central Landers at 78 as well. Alistown, Cat Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, and Georgetown, Exuma, all at 79. 79s again in Ragged Island, Clarence, Down Long Island, and Crooked Island. Betsy Bay, Megawana, 80, Acklands, 80, Matthewtown, Unagua, 80 degrees, and the Turks and Caicos Islands at 79 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight is brought to you by Builders Mall, home of FYP, the Tile King, and the Paint Setter. In the northwestern islands, southerly winds, 10 to 15 knots. That will be the speeds. And the wave heights, there will be around 2 to 4 feet. High tide will take place at 10:16 tonight in the central and southeastern islands. Winds out of the southeast at 12 to 18 knots. Choppy seas at 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. So caution flags are in place for boaters in the central and southeastern islands tonight. And then tomorrow, Saturday, in the northwestern islands, the winds will rotate clockwise, becoming south to southwest ahead of an advancing cold front. The details coming up later. 10 to 15 knots will be the speeds, and the wave heights 2 to 4 feet. High tide on Saturday, 10:31 in the morning. The low tide will occur at 4:57 in the afternoon. In the central and southeastern islands, the winds fall off southeast at 10 to 15. The wave heights down 2 to 4 feet. And then on Sunday in the northwestern islands, behind that front, the winds will swing out of the west to northwest at 10 to 15 knots. Wave heights remaining 2 to 4 feet. High tide on Sunday, 11:14 in the morning, with a low tide at 5:38 in the afternoon. While in the central and southeastern islands, the winds will be light and variable with flat seas. That's going to do it for your boating forecast. It's time now for your international temperatures, and they are brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
If you see me on the dance floor, man, and kind on wild. Hey, sculling, moving, raking, scraping, man, to this beat. Well, sliding, slipping, dipping, dancing all across the floor. Whining, bumping, jerking, Lord, I'm holding my head. Well,
That's going to do it for your international temperatures, brought to you by Royal Star Assurance. But stay tuned, your extended weather forecast is still ahead.
Life is better with Rubis Rewards. Just fuel up and swipe for your chance to win free fuel, cash back in our stores, restaurant and store discounts from our partners, plus prizes and surprises. It doesn't get better than this. Your Rubis Reward tag is free at every Rubis service station in New Providence. Get yours today. Rubis, it's just better.
Watch Junkanoo in a whole new way. See the magnificence of Junkanoo through the eyes of those who know it best. The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture presents Junkanoo Watch Party, a night of Junkanoo excellence with commentary from the Junkanoo experts, plus your thoughts on social media. Junkanoo Watch Party, this Saturday, January 22nd, on the ZNS Network at 7:30 p.m.
no delay. Best rate, no delay.
BTC gives more savings on the best fiber internet. It's super fast with super savings in every package. Compare and see for yourself. Enjoy the best home internet experience for all your work, study, and entertainment.
Best rate, no delay. Best rate, no delay.
Visit a BTC store to sign up for the best internet experience on the Bahamas' best fiber network.
A good savings plan starts with the specials at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets. Bumblebee tuna in oil or water, 5 ounce, 2 for $2.05. Devon corned beef, 12 ounce, $2.49. Libby's whole kernel corn, 15 ounce, 4 for $4.59. Chicken leg quarters, 10-pound bag, 89 cents per pound. Hygieno bath tissue, 4-pack, 2 for $3.99. Serious savings at Super Value and Quality Supermarkets.
We believe in relationship banking. We take pride in getting to know our clients. You have access to knowledgeable, approachable ambassadors and financial coaches so that we can recommend the best product for you. At Fidelity, we care about you. From your financial health to your physical health, we can relate to you because we're just like you. Come and start your relationship banking experience with us today. Visit us online at fidelitygroup.com. Visit any of our branches in Nassau or Grand Bahama, or phone 356-7764 in Nassau, or 352-6676 for Freeport.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Welcome to sports, everybody. Keyshawn Khan left the latest Bahamian to ink a professional baseball contract. He signed on earlier this week with the San Diego Padres organization.
Today, I am able to accept this opportunity to play professional baseball because of the hard work, dedication to my passion, and perseverance that allowed me to overcome many obstacles. It was a rough journey that helped me to develop my leadership abilities, integrity, and discipline, which are all vital skills that led me to this very moment.
Padres international scout Bill McLaughlin believes they have found a diamond in the rough.
I remember the first time I saw him, and I kind of put him in my little book, but I kind of
I didn't want to talk too much about him because I kind of was afraid that other teams would kind of see what I had seen. And honestly, we're ecstatic to have add him to our organization.
Conliffe is a product of the Max D Academy headed by Greg Burrows Jr.
I can't wait to see him blossom into professional baseball. I think that he is going to be the Padres' best-kept secret.
Sports Minister, the Honorable Mario Bowleg, was out of the country during Conliffe's signing, but was represented by Minister of Labor and Immigration, the Honorable Keith Bell.
We want you to know that we appreciate you, we admire you, we hope that you continue to be a stellar example for young men in our country to follow.
The National Sports Authority hosted Conliffe's signing, and they look to do even more in the future.
The NSA, as part of their mandate, wants to ensure the public that these youngsters, just not baseball, we have tons of sports out there, but we're beginning with this young man. And we want to show the Bahamas that NSA is supporting them, and if we can build them in any way, form, or fashion that we can, this is what we intend to do.
We want to make sure that the NSA is recognized and be seen, and not as a landlord that is known to be. We are moving forward in developing some of the fields. If you see on the blue playing fields right now that we're trying to do some refurbishment of the fields in order for the tournament that is coming up in later on this year. We're trying to make sure that we have a hand in every sport.
Coach Jolette McPhee-McQuinn and the Ole Miss women's basketball team continuing to roll. They moved to 16-2 on the season with an 80-63 win last night on the road over Texas A&M. Up next now for the Lady Rebels, another road game on Sunday against the 23rd ranked Kentucky Wildcats.
We kind of look at it in 4-game pods. If we could go 500 every 4 games, we like our chances, you know. Players are going to have to raise their level of play. I think that they're more than prepared to do that, and now we have to put them in position to be successful.
The Lady Rebels had 2 games postponed on December 30th and January 2nd because of COVID-related issues. While it wasn't ideal, Coach Yo says it may have been a blessing in disguise.
We got wiped out pretty good, all of us, so that kind of worked out for us early on. You know, some teams are like losing people. When I tell you it took us out, it took us out. So from now on, God forbid for any injuries, we'll always have enough to play. You know, this variant wasn't as brutal as the ones in the past. So, you know, I'm just going to be honest. There was a relief when I was told that I was positive, because I was just like, good. I got PTSD from getting it in March. At least I know I'll be there in March.
That's a look at sports. Check on weather up next.
This is ZNS Total Sports.
Watch Junkanoo in a whole new way. See the magnificence of Junkanoo through the eyes of those who know it best. The Ministry of Youth, Sports, and Culture presents Junkanoo Watch Party, a night of Junkanoo excellence with commentary from the Junkanoo experts, plus your thoughts on social media. Junkanoo Watch Party this Saturday, January 22nd on the ZNS Network at 7:30 p.m.
Look, I don't know who Sean they think I am, all right? I only win 2 BAISS championships. I deal with connectivity.
Alive. What do we got?
Well, we are 100% Bahamian owned, and we inspired all Bahamians to believe in best. And we delivered on revolutionizing telecommunications in the Bahamas. Not to mention, our network works in the good days and the bad.
Thank you. But I need you to go faster. Be better.
Time now for weather.
In our final look at weather, satellite pictures showing some pre-frontal activity moving across Florida. That will move into the northwest Bahamas later on tonight, triggering a couple showers. But most importantly, we anticipate low pressure will form on this frontal boundary in the Gulf of Mexico sometime tomorrow. The low itself will move towards the northeast with a trailing cold front, which will move through the northwest Bahamas, and that should push through here on Sunday morning, bringing with it some heavy showers, particularly around the Grand Bahama, Bimini, and Abaco areas on Saturday. Forecast for tonight, we're looking at cloudy conditions with a couple of showers developing late as those prefrontal showers move into the northwest Bahamas. The low temperature around 69 degrees. And tomorrow, it's going to be cloudy with occasional rains, more heavy again in the extreme northwest Bahamas with a high temperature of 80 degrees. Your extended weather forecast, a bit of the wet stuff heavy on Saturday, and on Sunday, things will taper off a bit. The front goes through on Sunday, by the way, and then we'll see some sunshine on Tuesday, but another frontal system comes through on Thursday morning. So we'll see temperatures once again dropping into the 60s during the nighttime. So we'll keep those comfortable temperatures for yet another 7-day cycle. Kosher.
Well, thanks, Basil. But before we leave, Friday normally marks the beginning of a long or short weekend, depending on what you have planned. But those of you with no plans at all, here's Kelsey Johnson with how to make the best of the 2-day breather.
It's the weekend, baby! The part of the week we've all been waiting for. Why? Because we get to kick off our shoes, relax, and spend time doing the things we love. Even the most spontaneous person knows that Saturday and Sunday goes by pretty fast, so some kind of planning is needed. Here are a few tips that you can put into action. Dinner. If it's dinner for two, ambiance should play a big part in your selection. Of course, the food is another key factor, but nothing sets the mood better than candlelights or a beautiful restaurant with soft lights and soothing music. Who says that dinner is only designed for two? Go out and treat yourself. It can be a great picker-upper. Cooking. Maybe going out isn't your thing, and staying home after a long week brings more joy. If that's your choice, then chefing it up is another good idea. No matter what's on the menu, those who you're cooking for will enjoy the meal. You can cook for your kids or a date night with the loved one. Cooking is romantic. Picnic. It's a beautiful Saturday and staying inside is not in your vocabulary. So pack the basket and head to the beach for a good picnic. Get the sand in your toes and wind in your hair. Either way, this is a good way to relax. The sound of the ocean can be soothing. Club life. Turning it up is a good way to wash away the stress of the week. Party in your favorite club, spot, restaurant, or bar. Party by yourself, with friends and loved ones. Whatever it is, just go out and let your hair down, but do it in a responsible way. These are just a few tips that can help you get through the weekend. Remember, social distancing is still key. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS Network News.
Oh, thanks, Kelsey. Just before we close, be sure to tune into the morning edition at 7 on Monday morning for a special hour-long back-to-school show. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. From all of us here at ZNS, thank you for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.